Just one tool made myself and my wife over $100,000. I'm going to share a bit of a story in today's video about how Emily and I began our property investing journey and how a little bit of hard work and a bit of extra time on our weekends has made all the difference in helping us grow our property portfolio. Now, my name's Luke. Drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel down below, and let's dive straight into it. So Emily and I have spent our last few years, or last 5 years, 6 years, I should say, renovating homes, putting in hard work and building our property portfolio. But a real game changer was when we bought this one tool. We actually bought several of these over time, and through trial and error, spent the right amount of money and got the right outcome. Now, what I'm talking about is a paint sprayer. You might think, that's just for the professionals, but it's definitely not. Aldi sold one of these down at the local shops, and we bought our very first paint sprayer from Aldi to give it a go. Now, it cost us around $300, and to be honest, no offense, Aldi, sometimes Aldi has good equipment and good homewares, but this paint tool was not so crash hot. We bought it from Aldi in Kelvin Grove, where our very first home is, and we wanted to paint our front fence using it. So we went and bought a paint sprayer down at Aldi, and we managed to find that the tool wasn't working very well. The paint clogged up. It was a whole heap of effort, but that first $300 we spent on that very first tool was actually a learning experience about how to use a paint sprayer. So how did we actually use that experience and that effort and turn it into over $100,000 of profit? Now, what we did is we learned how to use that tool. So we bought it from Aldi. We ended up returning that broken paint sprayer. It didn't work for us. It was not sucking the paint up very well. And we then tried an air compressor. So we went and bought a canister. We jumped up on the roof at our very first renovation. We don't have any footage of this, unfortunately. You can go and check out our other renovation videos if you want to see us using the more modern paint sprayer. But we jumped up on the roof of our very first property, which was rusting, needed some rust repair. So we put on some rust converter and then sprayed it with an air compressor. And again, we didn't have much success. It was only a 1 liter tin. And we then did that job and got the outcome and realized that we wanted to upgrade to a semi-pro, a more commercial level paint sprayer. Now, this is going to require a bit of hard work if you want to do the same as us. We spend Saturdays and even Sundays on some days and sometimes weeknights working on our properties to renovate them. I can clearly recall the baby Queenslander. I was working full time at the time, so it was every night jumping out to the property, taping up windows, preparing to paint and putting in the hard work, and also working Saturdays, trying to have Sundays off to have that 1 day a week of a clear break. Now, we went to Bunnings and bought a semi-pro commercial Wagner paint sprayer. It was about $1,000 and it changed the game. So we tried paint sprayer number 1 at Aldi, paint sprayer number 2 from Bunnings, and then finally went and invested money. I actually went 50-50 with my dad because I wasn't quite convinced that I was going to get use out of it. So we went and bought it from Bunnings and spent $1,000, which was a massive amount of money to us at the time to go and spend on a single tool. Now, what happened here, it was allowed us to finish projects in a quick manner. When people do renovations, sometimes they want to do 1 bedroom or 1 bathroom or 1 space at a time. But buying the paint sprayer really opened up our eyes in terms of taking on a project and actually trying to do things in a more efficient manner. So if we were going to prepare rooms or sugar soak them or take them off, we would do that all in one go. So we'd tape rooms all night for 3 or 4 hours and clean the windows, clean the walls, to ready to paint in all areas. Once we'd done all of that, we would then be able to, prep and be ready to set up the paint sprayer for a full day of paint spraying. That created a much more efficient process and allowed us to get a lot of work done in a short period of time. Painters charge tens of thousands of dollars to just do interior paints and then even more for exterior paints because they require scaffolding, they need to get into hard to reach areas, and so we wanted to take that job on ourselves. We have a saying that we kind of laugh about. If you can breathe, you can paint. So, painting's just a bit of elbow grease. It's a bit of hard work. It's this sweat equity that you can put into a project. You don't have to necessarily buy a paint sprayer, but I want to open the door to people to potentially look at it because it made such a difference in our investing journey. When we bought the paint sprayer, we actually used it on the baby Queenslander and we made some mistakes. We then cheaped out on the quality of paint. So we went to a Lloyd's auction, which was down on the Gold Coast, and they had a company that was closing down and was selling a large amount of paint for sale. And so we thought, yeah, great, we're going to buy all this cheap paint from this auctioneer and go and use it on our renovation project. Turns out all of the paint that we bought was actually off and bad and was runny and wasn't able to even stick to the walls. So we spent almost wasted a day, had a couple of friends from church at the time come and help us out. So it was really a learning experience. When we spent the right money on paint, so we bought top quality Dulux. I know people might say, oh, you can get cheaper paints. There's other options out there. But we went and bought the top quality and we didn't have any issues. We then spent good quality amount of money on the paint sprayer and the project went far more smoothly. So a key takeaway, if you're going to do it yourself, make sure you spend quality money on tools and materials because, materials are roughly only 40% of the renovation costs. A lot of the costs that you spend when you're going to do a renovation, roughly 60%, is on paying the trades and paying the labor to do the work. So if you're going to do it yourself, don't cheap out, buy the right tools for the right job and learn how to actually use them. Even if you only do it on one project, then you can understand what the trades need to do, how long things will take, and get a rough idea of what it will cost for someone else to do that job for you. So how exactly did we make over $100,000 buying this paint sprayer? Now what we did is we did multiple projects using the paint sprayer inside and out. So we did the baby Queenslander, we did a complete repaint inside, and it lifted the value significantly on the property. It turned the rental income from the property around $350 a week to $450 a week by just giving the place a massive cosmetic uplift and also refinishing the floors and some of the kitchen bench tops. We've completely repainted this place here, the triple Gable Queenslander. You can see behind me the white on white walls, and there's videos of me and my wife working on the house, spending nights preparing the walls and preparing the windows and paint spraying inside and out. Now I didn't even need a scaffolding to paint spray on the outside of this home. It's about 1.5 stories high, so I just bought a long ladder and I bought an extension arm. It's called a magic wand for the paint sprayer. It just gives you a bit more reach, so it's an extra foot of reach. And we also use a spray guard. Now the spray guard is a game changer as well because it allows you to cut off windows and not have overspray on sections that you don't want overspray to get on. Now one big tip if you're going to do it yourself is actually match your ceiling color to your wall color. So we've done white on white with actual low sheen Dulux paint on the walls, and we've used ceiling paint but tinted it to white on white to match the walls. Now what that meant is the trims in the top corner, you can't see in the footage here, but the trims in the top corner of your home don't actually need to be touched up by hand and don't need to be taped off and cut in. If you do the same color for your ceiling and your walls, you don't have to do any cutting in and you can use the paint sprayer across both sections. Now the end result for Emily and I was a massive uplift in value of property, a huge amount of money saved on paying trades that we would have spent on those trades. And so we ended up with over a 6-figure result, adding value to our homes and building out our net worth and trying to create passive income off the back of building our property portfolio. Now this is not for everyone. It's not for everyone to take on these types of projects, but I want to motivate you to spend the right money on tools and materials, to plan your projects out in an efficient manner and use tips and tricks like painting the walls and the ceiling the same so you don't have to cut in your cornices. You can also pay trades to do this work for you. So if you're willing to project manage, you can still make a great profit on doing property renovations. So I'd encourage you to go out there, do your feasibilities, look for opportunities and see what you can do to manufacture value in this property market. If you're looking for a Brisbane buyer's agent or you would just want to have a chat, head over to purposeproperty.com.au. We have half an hour and we'll sit down, have a quick chat over Zoom and talk about your situation, how I might be able to help you in your investing journey and how you might be able to buy in the Brisbane market sometime over the next 12 to 18 months. Otherwise, drop a like on this video and click this video over here for more things real estate, renovating and financial freedom. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.